I had concerns about drinking and driving with my daughter in the car.
I was asking for first right of refusal. When she goes to her aunt's, she is exposed to so many foul things. Right now, I'm currently temporarily on TANF, so I think it's 530.
Okay, so you're not currently working?
No.
Dad prefers to not have that much contact with mom.
For temporary parenting plan review, where are the parties at?
Do you want to go first, Greg?
In anyone's, feel free to jump in.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of stuff came up. I almost backed out, and I thought, the plan was that eventually we were going to get to a comfortable point where it would just be 50-50. We both agreed on no child support. So I had submitted those. I had concerns about drinking and driving with my daughter in the car, and I just requested that if I have any concerns in the future, that I'm able to request a UA. But other than that, I'm okay with the 50-50. I did get served with her paperwork, and I'm not okay with that because I don't feel that that is 50-50. I like my time with my daughter, and like my schedule with my daughter is, I get off work, I go, through the whole routine. We hang out, feed her, eat dinner, I bathe her, I put her down for bed. I mean, I'm just doing this with my mom. Occasionally she sees her auntie, but I feel like we really have a good thing going on, and I don't want to have to go to her mom every night and drop her off at her mom's or have her mom pick her up. I kind of prefer to not have that much contact with her mom, and I just really feel good about what I have going on in my 50% of the time and don't want to give up any more than that.
Yeah, I did just see, so when I actually reviewed this yesterday, I did not have your proposed parenting plan scanned into the file yet, Ms. Davenport. So I haven't had a chance to look at it. It looks like it was, you filed it on Monday. So it's available to me online today, but it wasn't yesterday when I reviewed this case in preparation. So I haven't been able to see where you all disagree specifically, but it sounds like we're not quite at agreed order place. So let me ask the two of you this. You've never had a guardian ad litem appointed. That is, you've probably seen them online where they interview both of you, other people involved in the child's life, and make recommendations to the court. Is that something that you would be interested in having involved in your case?
I would rather not, if possible. So with me, I'm for 50-50 because I feel like that's the best thing for our child, to have equal time with her dad and me. It's very healthy for her, and she's safe with both of us. My only concern is I was asking for first right of refusal because Adeline.
First right of refusal in this, what does it mean to you?
From my understanding, when it comes to custody, would be that he would call me if he needs childcare first. So instead of Adeline staying at her grandma's during Greg's days, he would still get his time with her, and then she would just be with me during the night instead of staying those nights at his mother's. And I want her to have a healthy relationship with his mom, which is her grandma. And I see how this is affecting my daughter and her relationship with his mother. She's really upset. She doesn't understand why, if she can't be with daddy, why she can't be with me. And it's really affecting her. And I feel she's 4 years old, and I feel like she needs to be with her dad and me. And that's where she wants to be. So I don't understand. Huh?
So typically I rule that in these types of situations, absent extenuating circumstances, that the parent whose residential time it is gets to decide who is watching the child if they have to work or do other things. So I don't typically grant what you are calling first right of refusal is not something I typically grant. Here's my recommendation. You all appear to be close, but again, because your proposed plan was just filed, I haven't had a chance to sit down and fully compare them. I would recommend that we transfer this to mediation, have you all meet with a mediator to go through your differences and see if you can bring back an agreed plan to me rather than doing a GAL. Would you
How
guys?
much does mediation cost?
Let me pull it up. They just told me it's not much. Well, it's way cheaper than a GAL. I do know that. The charge per mediation, and it's done here locally, is $310. And I typically have the parties just split that 50-50. Would that be something that you all would be interested in?
If we have to, then yes. My other concern was basically the childcare that she is put with in Greg's time with our daughter. When she goes to her aunt's, she is exposed to so many foul things. She comes back with regression in behavior. She's very curious. It's not healthy for her. They do drugs right in front of her.
And again, so we don't have, if there's allegations of drug usage, then I'm going to request a GAL. That's not something that I have documentation of. So if you're requesting that visitation be limited because of significant safety concerns to the child, then that is something we would need a GAL for.
That's not what I'm requesting. I don't understand why she can't be with me instead of going overnight to someone else's house when I could provide her stability. It's
not your parenting time. That's why.
Can I say something?
Yes, please do.
Yes, I wanted to ask your suggestion because I know that she has a thing against her sister. I have addressed all these problems. I have actually gotten mad at her sister and asked this stuff, and her sister gets very defensive, says she doesn't do that, that she's willing to take a drug test, hair follicle test. I don't know what to do in this situation because the last judge that we spoke to said, Adeline was in her care for so long not to rip her away from her auntie. I have limited that she maybe once a week, if that, like sometimes she goes 3 weeks without even seeing her auntie. So it's like, mainly it's just me and my mom. And that is, the best, that's how I like it. But I do, she misses her auntie. I sometimes, let her go stay the night there. I've addressed all these problems and, I haven't taken it lightly. And she, within responses, says anytime, hair follicle test, have somebody stop by, whatever. So I wonder if sometimes it's just something that's, because they're sisters and they don't like each other. But I don't know what to do in this situation. Yeah, the easiest thing would just be like, yeah, she can't go there. But, she's going to miss her auntie and, she was a big part of her life.
All right. So I think I've heard enough. I've looked at the history of your case. I am a little confused why we've never had a GAL appointed. I see that you guys, that this matter was in guardianship proceedings for a period of time. I, on the court's own motion, am going to appoint a GAL because there are a lot of allegations going back and forth. I don't believe this is something that you all are close in agreement on, even if it appears that way on paper. I think there's significant safety concerns that are being raised for the child. What is the current age of your child?
4.
Who are the next 3 GALs? I'm going to read off 3 names and then I'm going to see if you guys want to strike any of them, if you know them or had an experience with them. Ann Height, Twyla Corey, and Heather Cull. Oh, I'm hearing no objection, so I'm going to sign Ann Height. I'm going to set some review dates in a minute, but first let's talk about payment. I'm going to ask you all a little bit about your income to determine if the county pays for this, you all pay for this, and at what portion. So Ms. Davenport, first, what is your monthly income?
Right now I'm currently temporarily on TANF, so I think it's 530.
Okay, so you're not currently working?
No, I'm taking classes to become a CNA.
And how much longer do you have in that program?
Probably about a month, maybe.
Okay. And then, sir, what is your monthly income?
I think roughly about $3,000.
And then is that before or after taxes? Is that your take home pay?
Yeah, I think that'd be about my take home pay.
How many people do you support on that?
3.
3 dependents?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is indicate that this will.
You have 3 kids?
Well, no, 2 dependents and 2 dependents.
But yeah, okay. So this is going to be county pay. what I'm going to do is indicate that 50% of it will be reimbursed by the respondent. And then 50% will be paid at at public expense. So that would mean the maximum the GAL can charge. Just going to get out my calculator here. In a county pay case is $14.85. So then the max that the respondent would be reimbursing at conclusion would be $742.50. The GAL is going to be, I'm also going to reserve on petitioner's reimbursement. We'll re-review if you do become gainfully employed before this is concluded. And then the GAL is going to be tasked with interviewing both of you about the concerns you have about either party regarding any issues of substance abuse, mental health, anything like that. We're going to do a 30-day review. So let's set that to, are the two of you free the day before Thanksgiving, November 22nd?
I think that should be fine.
Okay, so that'll be November 22nd at 9 a.m. Then the interim report will do January 10th and then February 14, hopefully for the final report. Any questions for me in the meantime?
So the guardian ad litem will be getting hold of us first. We don't have to reach out to her first, or?
Correct. She'll be given your contact information and she'll reach out as soon as she has the document and the order in her file.
Okay, and what's her name again?
Anne Height. Okay. All right. Thank you both. We'll see you back November 22nd.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.